With democracy, freedom, and dignity on the line, welcome to Election Day 2024. This is Law and Society. Please subscribe. And I want to briefly talk about today as we walk into a historic election. First of all, I want to uh, talk about some of the warnings and give you a heads up. The FBI has sent out an advisory, and I want to read that advisory to you. If you're going to plan on voting in person and going out to vote, I would recommend that you have your phone charged, that you take drinking water for the line, and that you not engage with MAGA instigators. On that topic, the FBI says if you encounter violence, threats, or intimidation at the polling place, call 911 immediately. After alerting local authorities, report the incident to the Justice Department. For election related complaints, contact the FBI at tips.fbi.gov/home. And if you think that taking a friend or going together with a couple of friends would make you feel more confident about being out there, please do so. So that is the housekeeping, and that's the warning that I wanted to sort of give everybody. Be well rested, be ready to stand in line, have drinking water, have your phone charged, and listen to the FBI when they say, "Let us know if you are threatened or if you encounter violence, threats, or intimidation at the polling place." So now let's talk briefly about what this election is about. It's about democracy. It's about a prosecutor, a career prosecutor who has been a public servant all her life and has spent the last 20 odd years in public service versus a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist, and somebody who is a criminal defendant for doing exactly the same things that he's doing now, which is sowing false narratives and lying about the 2024 election. Donald Trump is currently a criminal defendant in the District of Columbia because of what he did that culminated into the January 6th insurrection. But that's not all he did. He lied on social media during the 2020 election. Before the 2020 election, he went on to lie after the election. He then started coercing state officials. He then started coercing Mike Pence. He then went on to the fake elector plan, and then he used the violent armed mob to go to the Capitol, break into the Capitol, and stop the vote certification. He is being prosecuted for it right now. So when we say it is about democracy, it is about democracy literally because Donald Trump tried to overthrow our democracy once 4 years ago. It is a twilight zone that we're living in right now because, as I will say myself, that I was wrong in thinking that our justice system would be able to hold him accountable in 4 years. Because I said in 2021 that Donald Trump wouldn't be in a position to run for office in 2024. And here we are. So I am owning up to that mistake. And I'm not going to give any excuses for that. But the expectation was that the Justice Department and our court system would stand with the Constitution instead of somebody who has violated the law and who thinks the law doesn't apply to him. So that is why democracy is on the line, because on one side we have a defender of democracy, a defender of the rule of law, and on the other we have somebody who has broken the rule of law and who continues to toe the line to break the rule of law again. This election is about accountability. It's about Donald Trump being held accountable for his actions. It's about accountability of our government. It's about the responsibility that a leader takes. Donald Trump has said while he was president that he's not responsible for anything that happens. He has said in court documents that he cannot be held responsible for what other people do after listening to him. Well, what is the purpose of a president if not to lead their people with their words and with their actions? And Donald Trump hasn't led the American people, not all of us, like Kamala Harris promises to do. Instead, Donald Trump has divided us. So, what do we choose? Do we choose accountability and democracy and dignity? Or do we choose lies, deceit, corruption, and undermining the rule of law? My choice is Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Your choice should be the same if you are standing up for our republic and if you want to be able to tell future generations that you stood up to keep our republic and you didn't vote to destroy it. The second big thing that this election is about is freedom. It is about individual rights. It's about a woman's right to choose whether or not to terminate her pregnancy. It's about health decisions and bodily autonomy that should be the domain of the patient and the doctor, not the government. Kamala Harris will restore Roe as the rule of law of the land if we give Harris and Walz a blue Congress, both houses. And that's why it's so important for us to vote blue down ballot. And it's not just about the abortion rights. Abortion rights is the big issue. It's about women's rights. It's about women's autonomy. It's about equality of women. And I believe that Kamala Harris will bring us closer to a point where women are equal to men and they are paid equally in the workforce and they are looked at equally with the same dignity of their own rights of bodily autonomy. It is about not underestimating women. And that is what Donald Trump and the Republican Party have done in this election. That is what the Supreme Court did in Dobbs. If the Republican Party and Donald Trump think that their lies about protecting women are going to make women of America forget that Donald Trump was the first president and this Supreme Court is the first Supreme Court to ever take away a constitutional right from a group of people, American women will remind the Republican Party and Donald Trump and JD Vance exactly how they feel. Even women who don't have children. Because it is not about having children of your own, it's about all of us. It's about families that live next to us. It's about the well being of children who we are not related to, but we are invested in because we want a better future for our country, because that is the better, bigger choice. That is the way that we grow a more perfect union. With that said, the last thing I want to say is I hope that law enforcement is taking responsibility to guard election centers and election workers on a local level, and that they're coordinating with the federal level, and that the Republican states and Republican officials need to cooperate with FBI and federal officials as election monitors instead of causing chaos and discord right before the elections happen by refusing to cooperate with the FBI. It is an urgent plea now to law enforcement on a local level as well as election officials to cooperate with each other so we may have a free and fair election and we may pick a winner who will move us forward instead of dragging us back. With that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Derek, for being here and all of you for being here. Please like and subscribe and share this message. And I'll come back again and talk to you tomorrow when the polls are coming in. Take care.